So it's your boy E Money. It's your boy
We
NeekCinco.
outside.
NEO Wrestling. We're back after a cool WrestleMania 41 weekend. I wanted to say exciting, but then I kind of would not be overselling it, but I'd be a little bit overselling it because it was really good. It was pretty good. It was a solid WrestleMania, but it was all about the main events, really, for the most part.
We can't get exciting for everything that happened.
No, there's exciting moments, but overall, at the WrestleMania, like it wasn't better than last year's. So
Of course.
so like we said, NEO Wrestling, we're back. You know, just two guys giving our opinions. Share yours with us also. But we're gonna get into our overall ratings of WrestleMania 41 weekend and some other stuff. So I mean, let's start with that. Where did you have WrestleMania weekend, and how do you feel about it?
Cool. Yeah, I personally had a pretty good time with this weekend. Overall, I think the like particular highs of this weekend like really shined bright. Obviously, there were a number of things that I think were like more un unforced errors that it seems like they kind of made. Um, that like could have kind of made things better, and that's kind of been a bit of the overall conversation about the entire build up to this moment. But I also think that the conversation around this show, this might just be the general online discourse, but has been quite negative about this show. I feel like um like overall have felt a lot more positive about it, and I think we are going to look back on like all of the positive things that did happen during the show, and it's going to be remembered a bit more fondly than the way it's kind of being discussed right now.
I can agree with that. Because me personally, if I had to give you the 7 out of 10 scale, this was a 7 out of 10 WrestleMania weekend for me, just from what I've been watching recently and what I can remember in the past. But like just comparison to last year's, this has to be at least two notches below last year's, and last year's was damn near like
Yeah.
perfect, if not for like a couple matches. So like, what it really was for this WrestleMania is like outside the main event matches, a lot of this felt like really big Monday night, both nights. So like
Yeah.
you getting a really good episode of Raw or SmackDown, a really fire episode that's like better than your normal TV stuff, but almost pay-per-view level, and you got that twice this weekend. Because like the matches were good, they're entertaining, they're finishing feuds. There's no like really like just gimmicky stuff just for a TV show, but like when you think about this, the reason why it's gonna fall flat, and it might be something we remember later on, is because for the most part, what you remember right away is the main event. You remember John Cena, Cody Rhodes. You remember Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and CM Punk. But like what doesn't really stand in the front is like the Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, Bianca Belair, and they had a great match.
And
Things
it
like
should.
Jey Uso and Gunther aren't gonna be like the first thing you remember when you think about WrestleMania because the match wasn't that memorable or anything like that. Jacob
Yeah.
Fatu wins. Another good thing that happened. And when you're looking at this instantly, that's not what your mind goes to when you think about this
Yeah.
WrestleMania, for me at least. It always just goes back to what happened in those main events at the end, and nothing else is super important at this moment. Weird things happen, like getting a New Day match. Obviously, they got it because they won, but why not the SmackDown tag titles? We get the whole Bailey, Lyra, Becky scenario going on that probably didn't need to play out that way at all. But I'm assuming that's
No.
something like Becky told them she's willing to come back like kind of late in the story writing, and they had to make an adjustment for her. But either way, that was weird, especially for it. This is post Monday. We've already seen Monday. For whatever happened on Monday that happened,
Yes.
the Becky Lynch story is even weirder now. So I don't know. Like the Monday felt cooler than the WrestleMania day one. I'll tell you that much. Until the main event.
Yes. To be clear, we are recording this on Tuesday night, so we do have a little bit of like
Hindsight.
extra context on kind of the fallout of the show and what has happened next. I think the point that you made about the comparison to last year was also something that I've thought about a lot too, and that last year was so special that it was always gonna feel a bit impossible to like be the like next WrestleMania after that. And I think part of the discomfort with this show is because of how great last year was too.
Yeah, it's like nothing was really jaw dropping. Nothing made you go, oh my god. Like I can't even like really call any like amazing spots like that. Like the
I
Jacob
mean,
Fatu
the
and LA Knight one was cool. The back flip into like I mean what Joe Hendry getting RKO'd out of nowhere for real. But like I don't know.
yeah,
The night
I
was
would say
pretty predictable too. Both nights.
I would say the end of um, night one like it definitely had that like that wow and kind of that significant moment. Like even if it's a moment that people like were thinking that it was going to happen, to like still see it play out that way, like I think is probably going to be the like the lasting moment like that gets played in all of the like highlight packages
All
when we look at the history of WrestleMania and the history of honestly all three of these guys' career even.
Paul Heyman, what a dastardly devil. But I'll say it like this:
Yeah.
WrestleMania 2, I felt like was an overall better show, but WrestleMania Night 1 was the more impactful, the bigger wow, the more entertaining spectacle. So both nights kind of even out at 7 apiece. So I'm just gonna give it a 7.
Cool. Yeah, I think ranking with just a number can be quite difficult. But I'm probably in that same range. I would probably say like 7.5. I think 8 for me feels a bit too high. So I would say like 7.5.
Okay, cool. So here we go. Let's see how much we overlap here. Your favorite match, your least favorite match of you could do both nights. Let's do one for each night, I guess.
Oh, okay. I had it kind of combined as an entire thing. So let
You want
me
to do one night? We
make
could do
sure
one night.
make sure that sure. So my favorite in ring match was definitely the triple threat for the women's heavyweight world championship. Um, Bianca, Io, and Rhea. I truthfully like this. These are three of my favorite performers in the company overall right now. So I really didn't need to be sold much more than just like putting them three in a ring together. I think their performance is a like instant like 5 star like quality match, and is definitely one that I will be going back to watch from time time to time. I obviously, if you watched our last show, was rooting for the EST Bianca Belair, but I am completely satisfied with EO retaining, and I think the like one of the big takeaways and one of the big wins from this entire show is that in both of these um, um, triple threat matches, they had kind of the like third wheel of the group win, and I feel like that was such a great way to like elevate both of them to feel like they are both truly on the level of the other two top stars. and really helps to keep things new and exciting and fresh. So this was a that was definitely my favorite of the entire weekend.
Okay. Mine is that that's actually my second favorite match of the weekend. My first is the other triple threat, the big Shibuya. Um a lot of people were kind of calling for Paul Heyman to turn on both Roman and CM Punk. Some people were saying to side with Seth Rollins. No matter what you really believed, I feel like this match didn't let down. Anything that has Roman Reigns in it is normally a good match because you get a good mix of just
Is
wrestling and
it?
performance. Normally, because you normally get a good
Is
mix.
it?
Why would it not be?
This might be a me thing, and um I also came back to watching wrestling in the middle of Roman's well, 1,300 day reign, and so I know that for the most part that I definitely missed most, if not all, of his like at his like in ring kind of peak. I personally have felt a bit underwhelmed in ring by a number of his matches that I've seen, just because they're often just so slow, and I just like it. It isn't something that I always like once the match starts that I'm necessarily fully engaged in. But this match in particular had such a different feel to it, and it really felt like he, was putting on a like 100%, effort, level performance, and show. This might be, or this definitely is one of my favorite in-ring performances from Roman that I have personally watched.
Well, to go back to Roman Reigns and the triple threat and why I feel like Roman Reigns' matches are normally good. I think they're normally good because they start off slow and they normally get to some chaotic pace at some point because some shenanigans is always happening. So you get two different paces of matches and you normally get some good storytelling going on and stuff that involves Roman Reigns. So from those aspects, I enjoy his matches. I don't really need them to be fast right away because I understand that his character and the way that he goes at a match is more of an arrogant like I'm gonna beat you and I'm gonna take my time beating you type of thing instead of like just trying to get a match over with. So from that aspect, from I can't really say a fact because I don't know. I'm not in the writer's room or in his head, but that's what his style gives off to me. Is that he's not there when he's in a match to just be over and done with it. He's in a match, and we've been talking junk, and I'm gonna make you feel every ounce of this while we're here. So that's kind of what, like, if you look at Cody Rhodes' match last year in WrestleMania, I think that's a real good like depiction of what I'm saying is his match style because that's kind of exactly what happened in like the grandest of fashion. You get this slow start where he's like picking Cody apart, doing his finisher to him, and talking junk about how you can't beat nobody with this move. Slowly but steadily, it starts falling apart, and then all the shenanigans start. And I enjoy that stuff because you normally get a jaw dropping moment
Yeah,
somewhere in there. But back to the match, it was exactly that basically. You get the kind of a slower start where but faster than you normally get with a Roman match because there's three people in here. Like you got to cater to the other people's styles too.
mm,
So you
yeah,
get a lot of that. And you know, just the whole when's it gonna happen for a match sometimes does it for some people. So not for
yeah,
everybody. But the when is it gonna happen was just like on the edge of your seat the whole time in a sense. All the wrestlers put on a good show. Nobody looks weak coming out of this match, and it's all because Paul Heyman did what he's supposed to do. Realistically,
yeah,
just how it played out, just how like I don't think anybody who was going for Seth being the Paul Heyman guy saw it going like this, where he just confidently gets up, doesn't care who's behind him, puts his hand out, gets handed the chair like he's Roman Reigns or some shit like
yeah,
that. Like as I was saying in our last one, it's just cinema. And from my perspective, I enjoy matches that do a good job of storytelling instead of your traditional we're just wrestling to wrestle and we're just like beating each other up for no reason. they've given each other a reason to continue beating each other up. So
For sure.
yeah, so that's my match of the night for well of the event for WrestleMania right there. So what's on the bottom of the list for you though?
I don't think this will be of much of a conversation. Why did you give me that 8:30 on Monday Night Raw tag match? New Day versus the War Raiders. I'm sorry, they both of those teams are not bad performers. It was not even a bad match, but to to have that on the card, I think is one of the like big points into why everybody was feeling. I think in night one in particular. Wait, this is WrestleMania. This doesn't feel like Wrestle. This doesn't feel like I'm watching WrestleMania. Um, so I don't think there's much more that needs to be added there.
So, as a wise man once said, why were the War Raiders and New Day at WrestleMania? Because I got the same match. Like, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of surprised with my bottom three because I have my whole list plotted out of what I had each match in order. I had War Raiders as the worst one, and this is not to say any of these matches were bad. Not a match was bad realistically. It's just they didn't really
Yeah.
live up to like a WrestleMania hype or whatever we want to call it. War Raiders, AJ Styles versus Logan Paul, Randy Orton, Joe Hendry. All three of those matches were like the lowest on the totem pole for me. And then from there, all the other matches kind of did something. So
Okay. All right. Um I did not fully like rank them kind of from top to bottom, but I definitely would say War Raiders versus New Day would be uh, number one or number 14 if you're saying the bottom. Um, uh, what did we say there? What was the second one?
my
That
second
you
one was
said?
AJ Styles, Logan Paul. I can't
Yeah, yeah,
like there
yep.
was matches
I
that I struggled with and was like, do I really want to have them outside of the bottom three? Like El Grande Americano or Ray Phoenix, but I'm
yeah,
like, that match was actually really fucking good. Like, the Liv Raquel match, solid match. And we got a title
yeah,
change there, but like Randy Orton really
yeah.
didn't do nothing other than be funny.
I I actually like think that what they were able to do with that match was kind of a like best case scenario version. I mean, they were in an impossible situation with the first version of that match just completely falling apart right before the show. For them to still have that like fun and like entertaining moment where you like have this wow factor of Joe, who has like become a like internet
Name
wrestling
it
star
the
and is
again.
not
I
he
believe in Joe Hendry.
I would rank that a little higher, and I would have the El Grande match second. I, to be honest, don't love the character. I don't love the story of what they're doing with this. I now that I've seen the show, now understand the point of why this match was here was because they were announcing that they have acquired the new addition to the WWE, organization with um, AAA coming into the WWE umbrella. With that being said, I am now looking at this, and this kind of like takes away from another match. But if the point of this was that you needed to have a like lucha match to pair with this announcement and this celebration, then why wasn't it Penta and his brother or Penta and Rey Mysterio? That to me is a match that no matter that to me is a match that is interesting and WrestleMania worthy on its own, where you're doing this thing with El Grande, and it's just maybe other people liked it more than I did. I think you probably liked it more than I did, but I was just like, I just want more for Chad Gate. Like,
Hey, I'm
I
always
just I
down
just
to
want more for Chad
laugh
Gable.
with some WWE, and Chad Gable is down. It's not even Chad Gable, bro. Like, can you stop that? Like, stop accusing Chad Gable of being a El Grande Americano. Chad Gable is chilling. He's on vacation. He's managing the American Made, and he's got some guy who just happens to be of similar stature running around in a mask out there. El Grande Americano isn't the best. No, I just like that he's out there trolling the hell out of Mysterio right now, and it makes me laugh, and it's good enough for me. He's out there, he wrestles pretty good, and he makes me laugh. That is like the most non-expert opinion I could ever give on a wrestler right there, because it's as simple as that for him, for me. Um, the fact that
Fair
like
enough.
people like you keep calling him Chad Gable, it's funny because we've literally seen them both in the same place at the same time, and we're still calling them Chad Gable. So, like, see, you're like, think about like, yo, you're right, we did see him at the same place. So, I don't know, man. It's a good little gimmick. It's not like some oh, you're historic now gimmick, but like, look at Otis right now. Otis ain't doing shit. He's literally a wrestler, like an actual wrestler. So, fuck it. Some people are getting the shit end of the stick. El Grande Americano for being a new guy on the block is not getting the shit end of the stick. Him, Ray Phoenix, and Penta all getting the debut in their
Yeah.
first WrestleMania, and they literally just got here within like the last 3 months, all of them. So
Just saying, you just have two actually excellent lucha signees that you just brought in your never mind.
uh,
Just
because they
we don't
needed
need
a heel one, man. They wanted a heel one in the mix, and they didn't want to
we
turn
don't
the
need to spend
brothers
any.
against each other. And what, Rey Mysterio go bad? He's not
No,
John Cena.
I don't think we need to spend any more time on this match.
I agree with you. I agree with you. Because I'm reaching for straws out here trying to defend El Grande Americano.
Can you give me another positive or another highlight from the show? And just because we haven't clearly mentioned it, we are saving the Cena and Cody Rhodes match for the end. We are trying to show love and maybe not as much love, but highlight the rest of the show first because we know that that is the hot topic
You want
that
another
everybody
highlight?
has
Cool.
strong. Yes, hit me.
I already mentioned that Bianca, Rhea, and Io is my second favorite match of the weekend. My third
Yes.
favorite match. My third favorite match, the Intercontinental Championship 4-way.
Okay. Yeah.
This might be biased, but I just give a fuck because Dom Mysterio won. It was like we had good wrestlers in this match, and this is why Penta wasn't doing something else because Penta was going for championship gold over here. But
He didn't need to be in that
he
match.
was there,
You're right. You're
so
right.
don't take him from it to go do some lucha match with Ray Phoenix. No, but just a solid match, man. Everybody performed, did their thing. Braun Breaker, being Braun Breaker before the greatest switching of I can't even call it a switching of sides. I was literally just saying this dude's not a heel. He just bothers people who bothers him. Like, God
Yeah.
damn, Mr. Breaker, did you just shit on my parade, man, and everything I thought about? I thought you were a good guy. I thought you were a swell fellow. And, but yeah, Dom sneaks one out on Finn, and boy, This is one of the bigger fallouts that I want to see go down and see how it goes. Is Finn, the implosion of Judgment Day, what happens with Dom? I thought Dom was going to get costed yesterday. I was ready to throw a fit in my living room if Dom got costed. So if you haven't seen Raw for some weird reason and you don't know what happens, Dom has a match. I kind of ruined it already by saying he didn't get costed. But you shouldn't be here if you haven't seen Raw anyways. So
True.
it's Tuesday right now. But Finn Balor is gonna be so good in this implosion, bro. Because we gotta give Finn. I want to give Finn some credit because he's getting the shit under the stick. He's one of those wrestlers getting the shit in. He performs well in all his feuds. We cannot act like he does not. I can't say carry, but he carries his weight in feuds. Like the Seth Rollins feud, he was really good in the Seth Rollins feud, even though that's like a year ago. But he doesn't get
That's
anybody
a
really big.
long time ago.
He doesn't get a lot of big people to feud with. He's stuck feuding with Damian Priest for like the last 8 months. Like, so props to him. He keeps doing his job consistently well. Hopefully he gets something soon. I don't know what, because what do you see him with? I don't, unless he gets the IC title, I what else do I see him with? Nothing. So hopefully Finn Balor finds something that's not the tag titles because you've had it enough and they normally do nothing with you while you have the tag titles. Unless you and JD McDonough are going to become a true tag team once you leave Judgment Day. But my boy Dirty Dom, bro, just slamming his way into a victory, bro. And I love it. It's the greatest thing ever. The world is always better when Dom got a belt. His arrogance goes to 3 million. He's talking to you like he's Ric Flair or some shit like that. But other than that, I got much else to say about that match.
Right. This this to me, I loved that match too. I feel like this is a situation where the right person is getting a belt for the first time at the exact right time. Um, and we saw that and we heard that from the overwhelming reaction of joy when the biggest heel in the company, not named John Cena, um, is crowned on the WWE's biggest stage.
Like, he really got cheered to the high heavens, bro. Like,
Yeah,
it's like I'm so busy with my arms up in the air that didn't even hit me right away that they were like cheering for him. And I'm sitting down and I'm
yeah,
like, yo, like they're really going ham for my man Dom. So, it's so funny because it just proves that that's just fans being a part of the K-Fab, bro. Like they didn't even hate you this whole time. They loved you.
yeah,
But they was going with the booze because it's what we do as a WWE family. We're sticking to the script.
yeah,
Cause I
yep.
mean, if I was there at a show, I'd be booing them too. Would you not be? Like,
Oh yeah, 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 for sure.
I fuck with Diamond, I'd still be booing him. But yeah, that was my other big match to bring up. What about you, man? What else you got on the plate?
I, I have I have two quick um, highlights for people, and I have one um, um, negative that I think needs to be discussed as well. That we've kind of touched on already, but to kind of give it more of a conversation. And since I'm already there, we're gonna get a little bit negative. I'm sorry. Um, to go back to the return of Becky Lynch. I am a huge fan of Becky Lynch. I am so happy that Becky is finally back, and I'm even happy in in itself that she is returning at WrestleMania. But the sequence of events here of what we saw on the show and now what we've seen after the show and the conversation and the information that has come out after, um, you didn't have to do Bailey like that, dog. Like
You could have just not put her on the show, right?
there was no reason for that, and I this makes my blood boil even more because I was so looking forward to Bailey versus Roxanne, and that got completely scrapped for her to seemingly do this, and then that goes away, and then Roxanne, as a little callback to the last show, if if you don't remember, she got demoted to the stand and deliver multi tag team match pre-show match.
Which was actually a pretty good match. I watched it.
which was a good match. Of course, it's a good
It's
match.
actually a stacked match too. Like that was a stacked match. All girls not in stand and deliver. All of them.
But this as you mentioned at the start, could have been they Triple H didn't find out until like very close to the show that Becky was going to be coming back. If that's the case, sure. But also this just could have been handled so much better without completely disrespecting one of one of your longest tenured like future first ballot Hall of Famer women.
She needs to also turn heel and just start beefing with Becky as a heel on heel beef. Like why not? Like on site every time we see each other. Because I kind of feel the same way. Like if even if it is you came back last second and like, oh, tomorrow I do want to come back, this WrestleMania, like at the end of the day you're stealing somebody's spot, and you probably knew whose spot you were stealing in that whole thing, because the Lyra Valkyria, her being Irish and Becky being Irish, is already there. It was already there since Becky was the NXT champion and she lost to Lyra on her buddy buddy shit. Like
Yeah.
so, like you coming back last second knew you were gonna steal a spot from Bailey. Who else did you think that spot was gonna get taken from? You thought you were just gonna pop up in a 4-way in the Io Sky match? No. You think you were just gonna get put into the Naomi and Jade Cargill match? No. Did any other women fight that I'm not thinking of right now? Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton?
Yeah.
No. So the only match you could get put into is this one. And you know they're not taking their IC champion out of this match. So you could tag with Bailey. That's not happening. So you so
They could have,
but
not
that's why I brought
not
up the point of
not that
it
they
being
should have.
Lyra, because Lyra is
Yeah.
the Irish buddy buddy chick with Becky Lynch. It's a better
Yeah.
story for what happened, because for what happened you didn't need to do Bailey like this. You could have
Yeah.
saved it for fucking Monday and did that shit on
Yeah,
Monday.
literally.
You could have did this shit on
Literally.
Monday, but you stole this
Yeah.
from Bailey. Like you could have literally just let it play out and then said, "Hey, Monday, Lyra's coming with a new tag partner because this one ain't working."
Yeah.
Boom.
Yep.
And then they lose, and you could just have Becky turn on her right then and there. So I
Yeah.
feel bad for Bailey, but maybe this was something they've been knew and was gonna happen, and this was the plan from the whole time. So it's not really writing Bailey out. It's more like this was always the plan, and you knew. So I don't know that much. I don't know if we're ever gonna know that much about this situation, but
Well,
unfortunate.
if I would just say if that was the plan for a while, then that's a bad
It
plan.
was. It was a poor plan, but that's why
And
I feel
with
like it is more of a last second thing, because it was just such a sloppy plan that it had to be like she just called me. She heard Seth's storyline and she wanted to come back as a heel.
we we now also have the context of them losing and doing the heel turn angle the next night. So and we as we were watching the show were expecting that Liv and Raquel were going to keep the titles, and that the Becky turn, and we were even thinking before Becky got added, we were like, oh, Bailey, like if this feels like a Bailey turn. And when Bailey got removed and Becky came in, we were saying the same thing, and it was like, oh, wait, they won, wait.
There's no heel turn?
Huh?
Like what? But then, remember, I even said it to you. I was like, this is gonna be one of those scenarios, because I thought it was gonna play out once they won. It was gonna be, oh, in a match that they look like they're losing, Becky was just gonna like turn on her in the middle of the match. And now it's gonna be like kind of like the John Cena Batista thing, when like Batista just walked out on John Cena,
Yeah.
like some like that. I thought it was gonna go that route once they won. Because you're right, we definitely were questioning it from the Bailey angle to the Becky angle. We were like, you're turning on her, aren't you? Because it just makes sense for
Yeah.
one of them to be beefing with her for the IC title. It just makes sense.
Yeah.
She needs a bigger name. She doesn't need one of those lower mid carders. She needs a name on her list because they're trying to build her up.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
unfortunate how they played it out. I guess Becky is like Becky either had to be her first big name or her last big name as the IC title champion. So either way, it works.
Agree.
Like getting to
Agree.
this point works. It's fine that they're trying to take this angle now, but like
Oh yeah.
the approach, doo doo.
Yes, yes. I ultimately am very happy with where we're ending, just how we got there. I wish was a bit better. But other than that, do you have any other highlights or particular lowlights
um,
before we finish up with our main event?
I'll give Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest their props for a really good match. That match,
Absolutely.
so outside of the story and what it does in the cinema aspect, the Cena and Cody match is not better than that match. That it's actually right after that match on my list of good matches. It was like number 4. It's either number 4 or 5 on my list. But the Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest, they did what we expected because they're both two good performers. They performed in this match. What we thought happened was going to happen. Drew has been dominating this man left, right, up, and down, and he continued to dominate this man again. Like,
Yeah,
it was competitive,
yeah.
but when Drew got into his position and it was a wrap, it was a wrap. That Claymore to the chair in the corner, clean,
Brutal.
clean. Like, here's a negative. Here's a negative, just to give it to you in the mix of this. The
Okay.
brutality in this match is what was missing from the Jey Uso Gunther match.
Oh my gosh, I agree. I agree so heavily.
The match wasn't even horrible. It was actually an okay to good match. It's just it missed that because they were selling us on a brutal match between these two. Not a shed of
Yes.
blood, barely like yeah, they beat each other up, but like it just did not feel like the bloodbath that we were supposed to see.
Yeah.
So, and Drew McIntyre and
I
Damian Priest fulfilled that for me. So, thank you guys.
I I I had that same thought with the Jay match. Not to like completely sidebar into that, but when that match ended, I my first thought was, man, I really wish one of them, and honestly, it would have worked either way. I wish one of them was bleeding. Whether it's because Jay just beat Gunther down so bad, or you're telling the story of like Gunther is clearly the like stronger and like superior athlete here,
And Jay
and
toughs it out.
and Jay is toughing it out and like fights through this like very clear like struggle that he's having. So
They didn't really sell
but
battered and beaten to me. That's what it is. And then you get Gunther who taps out and it's literally like 5 seconds into the hole, bro. Like
yeah,
it would have been better if they sold it that Jay was gonna put Gunther to sleep and then Gunther tapped out so because he refused to go to sleep. Like I would have
yeah,
rather that where he was holding on for like 30 seconds to like 45 seconds and he's fading and he just don't want to fade so he taps the fuck out. Like that would have been a
yeah,
better route. Um I'm happy that Jey Uso won. Like obviously we all are happy Jey Uso won because everybody in their
yeah.
stinking mom wanted that. If you're one of the 13 people on the planet who didn't want Jey Uso to win, kick rocks. Like but it didn't sell. Like he's over 2 on his last I won't say over 2 as in like didn't do good at all. It just didn't live up to the hype. Over 2 on his last 2 WrestleMania.
Jay,
Yeah, last year was the Jay and Jimmy
yeah,
match, bro.
yeah,
Like
yes.
just
Well, yeah.
not selling me on his WrestleMania matches lately. And I'll leave my next comments to some other video because it's about Monday night and I don't really want to dabble in Monday night too much. But
All right.
that's my only other gripe with the show. Do we move on to the main event to start off with a little bit of
Yep.
Seth Rollins in that, and then move into
I
we could
I quickly just
we could dabble
also
on Monday for these.
I quickly also just wanted to show love to um, Jacob Fatu. Um, he just looks right on that WrestleMania stage, and oh baby, for as much as I enjoyed this match, I cannot wait until he's in that WrestleMania main event picture. That is going to be so awesome. And two, um, Tiffany won. it was it was not a very clean match, but I feel like I enjoyed it more than at least what the online conversation was about it. Um, and ultimately, like I think when you look at these two people, you think that it's going to be this like super clean, super like flip and off the top rope and athletic and this kind of like perfect like this is what wrestling is supposed to look like and it wasn't that, but ultimately I think that the only goal of this match was make Tiffany Stratton legit, and Charlotte did that. Whether you feel like the match was perfect or not, I feel like this match did that. And when the bell rung and Tiffany was holding her belt as someone who was already rooting for her, she to me felt like a a much more serious like main event like threat and challenger to other top stars, which is exactly the purpose of this match.
So I will not lie. When you go back into hindsight, this whole feud did a good job of boosting Tiffany's legitimacy, even if it's a little bit. I don't feel like she's like boosted to the point of like a lot of your top dogs yet. Like she's not up there with
Yeah,
Rhea. She's not up there with Bianca. She's not up there with Io. She's not up there with Charlotte. She's not up there with Becky. Uh, she's hovering around Nia Jax. Did I say Bailey already? Because like, do we
no,
do we even really like Bailey's like a higher echelon of wrestler than Tiffany is even. So but she's closer to that now
yes, yes.
than she was. So and I mean that's what Charlotte was gonna do for her, regardless who won. Honestly, regardless who won, Tiffany was closer to legitimacy because of this feud. Um, I feel like I have to watch that match again because all I remember is some like missed spots. Like I feel like there was one moonsault where they didn't even connect or something like that, and that's all that really stands.
Yeah,
Match is another one that doesn't really stand out. Like it was a good match because the only reason why I'm giving it good is because I didn't expect Tiffany to win. Most people had Charlotte winning, and it's obvious why people had Charlotte winning
I
because
did.
it's normally going though. To talk about what we did on the predictions, I'm pretty sure we both got two wrong. Mine was the AJ Styles Logan prediction and this, and I think yours was this
Mhm.
and the Bianca Belair prediction. I didn't count
Nice.
the other matches that were like changed before main WrestleMania. Because I'm like,
I think
we
I
based it
also
off of Rey Mysterio and El Grande Americano, and we based it off of Lyra and Bailey. So I didn't even count those.
that's very kind of you.
Yeah, like how we gonna count that? Ray Phoenix won. I mean, Ray Phoenix lost. So that's not Ray
Yeah,
Mysterio though. Can't blame Ray Mysterio for losing.
Damn, Rey Mysterio wouldn't have lost like that.
You're right.
No,
I think
he.
the story was going a different direction, and this is just a pivot because of an injury, an
I
actual
feel like
injury, not a written injury.
I feel like Rey Mysterio, like now that we've seen it, was definitely supposed to lose. But either way, however,
I kind of don't
um,
feel like that was like legitimately his outcome. To be realistic with you, like not even to go back to this match that we were trying to escape, but I
we're gonna
legit,
spend more time on El
I just
Grande American.
I'm just gonna repeat it. We don't even have to keep going. I really do think that this was not the outcome for Rey Mysterio. Um, I think they were gonna unmask him, and they just know that they can stretch this out longer until Rey Mysterio's back, and they're gonna do it. So, boom, there you go.
He's probably gonna be out for a while. Ugh.
What is his injury?
Uh, I have to go back and look. I think like a strained groin or something. I don't
Boy, will be
remember.
back in 2 3 months.
He's like 50 something years old. Like the
Boy, will be
man,
back in two
the
three
fact that
months.
he's
He
still
he ain't doing
wrestling is a
half of the shit he
miracle.
used to do. He'll be all right, man. You know. Uh, but yeah, let's talk about these.
All right.
Let's talk about these
Yeah.
main events. These main events. So
Yeah.
let's start with night one. Seth Rollins, CM Punk, Roman Reigns. We don't have to talk about how we felt. Uh, what do you feel like that does? Like we can kind of mix in the Monday talk too with these because I feel
Yeah.
like to have more fruitful conversation, we kind of got it
Yeah, I think I think my biggest takeaway is kind of what we said when we first were talking about this match was this elevating Seth Rollins into like if we're like thinking about these like 1A and 1B like top of the card, top of the popularity characters, you would say like Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and Cody Rhodes, like those are the like SSS tier of the full-time roster. And Seth is in all those conversations, but is just below them after that.
especially because he's
And
beltless right now. I feel like
and the
if he had his belt right now, if he was still the world heavyweight champion, he wouldn't be out of those combos right now. But he's out of them right
yeah.
now because he's not champion
And so the combination of Seth not only winning this match, but the way that he won this match and and giving him this unforgettable WrestleMania moment, along with now he's in this faction with Heyman and Braun Breaker, which is amazing. We don't know at this point whether that's the full faction or whether there's more people coming in, Becky, someone else, whoever. But just this alone of Seth now having this run as kind of as what we assume will be the like top guy on weekly TV, I think is going to give him another like career highlight character story. So this is just a like unbelievable win. Not only in the actual match, but what it means for Seth Rollins moving forward.
Paul Heyman given the rub yet again. Man, did so we already know how it went on WrestleMania Night 1, man. We got the Paul Heyman turn and all this stuff. But how, like, the way they leveled it up in set within 48 hours is so crazy. Like, to have them all just
Yeah.
feuding and stuff, just showing up. Everybody just showing. Seth Rollins come out there to be cocky. CM Punk comes out there to beat him up. And next thing you know, Roman Reigns' music is kind of. They're killing us too because they're rolling the end credits. They let the end credits end, and then it rolled for like
Yeah.
3 minutes, and then Roman Reigns comes out. Bro, like if you turned your TV off because you seen the end credits rolling, boy, were you pissed when you looked at
And
the internet.
if you don't know by now, Triple H loves playing that game with the little like end of show logo, then I don't know what to tell you.
Bro, Roman Reigns is out there tearing house down. He's about to hit Paul Heyman with the spear of all spears. And Mr. Black Hoodie comes out of nowhere and just pops the tribal chief. Bro, the moment, like, my brain went through like 5 people's names and it landed on Braun Breaker, and then he started unzipping that hoodie, and I'm just jaws on the floor, bro. Like, bro, I was not ready for that because, like, have they even crossed paths yet? I don't recall them
Braun
crossing
and
paths.
Braun and Seth.
No, Braun and Roman. I think they crossed paths like once, and he just like looked at him and he walked away.
They did. Yes, they did in this year's Royal Rumble.
No, but I'm saying like in backstage or anything like that. I think there was
Oh
one
no.
backstage
Besides
segment
that,
where he
no.
walked by them and he just looked at him and then he just kept it moving. But outside of that, there's nothing. Like, I want to know all the motives. I want to know why everybody's doing. What did they tell you, Braun Breaker, that made you say, "Sure, I'm a badass. I'm down." Like, Paul Heyman, what are you? So I feel like the end of this story is eventually this faction probably doesn't last super long. Paul Heyman turns on Seth Rollins for Braun Breaker at the end of all of this.
You think?
He's the next up. That's kind of the sign that we're getting here. Is he's just getting thrown into a massive feud that includes 3 of the biggest names in the
Yeah.
game right now. And Paul Heyman, he's next up, and I feel like we're getting positioned for it. Why they just took the IC title off of him, just like we said with LA Knight, or like I said, and you kind of agreed. Do we see them staying in the mid card now that they have lost their titles? They both are 2 times title holders. On top of that, like, yeah, maybe they'll be back at some point, but like they kind of got to go to the next step, right?
Yeah. I
So
mean, more for me, Braun more than LA. Like, not because I don't like LA Knight. I do, but I don't know. That's
that's
a whole
yeah, but
separate
you
thing.
got to think of one. I don't know if they're doing the draft again. They're probably doing the draft again, so you never know where people land after this kind of stuff. But even if it's not on, even if it is on SmackDown, everybody for LA Knight to fight is in the bigger belt picture. Randy, Drew, Roman, Cody, Cena, all these guys are in the bigger belt picture. He's fought all the guys in the United States Championship picture right now, bro. Like,
You're gonna be mad when it's LA Knight versus Aleister Black for 2 months.
no, I'll
you're,
be okay with
you're
that. I'll be okay with that because
all
you want to
right.
know what it is? It's going to be a transition because it is so packed up there. But eventually his name comes spinning around and he's gonna get his shot. He probably don't win it, but like he's gonna get his shot. He's already gotten the shot before. Like, why?
Yeah,
So why is it any far fetched to think he'd get it again coming around? Especially when we got heel Cena running around, bro. Like it's kind of like just writings on the wall, bro. So I don't know, but for the other side of the fence, where I'm talking about Braun Breaker now, he's not touched any of this. This is all green new stuff for him. So it's
yes.
even more exciting. Like I'm pretty sure LA Knight has crossed paths at least verbally with a good amount of these people we're talking about. At least I think he tagged with Randy Orton already. He's probably gone mic to mic with Drew McIntyre at some point, like for EC, right, for the Elimination Chamber or something like that. So
I think a little bit, yeah.
yeah. So like he's crossed paths with Damian Priest. He's crossed paths with these guys. For Braun, this is all brand new. So this is the more exciting side of the fence because we already know LA Knight is meant for the bigger picture at some point. Braun Breaker, we know this, but it wasn't so clear of when they were going to do it. And now they're just
Yeah,
like shoving it in your face, like, oh, get ready for the ride, my boys. If you're a Braun Breaker
yeah.
fan, have some fun, buckle up. But yeah, that match was actually stellar to me. That was in contention with what happened last year, but not better.
With in regards to
With
what?
Roman winning, I mean losing to Cody and all that, how big that match was and all the stuff happening in that match.
Okay,
Like that's
okay, yeah,
up
yeah, yeah.
there in terms of events,
Gotcha.
but
Yeah,
it's not a better match than Cody versus Roman.
agree.
Yeah, so I think we're good there. Let's see where this fucking goes because man, is it gonna be some good fights going on? Do you think anybody else gets added? I don't know if we mentioned it on camera because I'm pretty sure at least Becky Lynch gets in there. Why else is she turning heel? Like,
Yeah,
right? Especially at the
yeah,
same time as her husband.
yeah. I expect or at least hope that one or two people get added to this. I um I don't want more than that, and I am totally okay if it's just three. I would love if it's Becky. I'm totally fine if it's somebody else. Um, but yes, I definitely do expect that somebody else eventually will be added to this. I don't know if it will be right away because there's so much potential right here with just this new version of Seth and like this completely new ball of clay with this Braun Breaker character that hasn't really done anything yet. um, so I don't know if more people will get added like in the next couple weeks, but eventually I do expect more
Like,
to be.
it's so interesting because Seth Rollins as a character is so versatile. Like, for what you need in a faction, he can handle majority of the roles you would need in a faction just by himself. So
Yep.
like he could be Weasley, he could be your muscle, he could be just the arrogant Triple H guy who's just the game planner and stuff like that. I'm wondering what else this faction would really need as a character.
You
Like I almost feel like
you
they
mean
need a really big guy. But I
You mean
don't know if
he's
they need that with Braun Breaker next to him though. So like
you mean he's an architect, he's a visionary, and he's a revolutionary all
he's
in one?
Seth freaking Rollins. Yeah. Yeah. And that's the magic of being Seth freaking Rollins is like he's a little bit of whatever he wants to be and he's good at it. But like, so as I was saying, I don't know what else they could use because like Braun Breaker serves the role of a big guy, but I don't know if he should serve the role as like the big Batista esque character in this group.
they they in terms of like weekly TV and getting them in matches, they need somebody to eat pins. I don't think it's going to be Braun Breaker, and
No, yeah.
I hope it's not Braun Breaker. So somebody else, whether it's calling up a like Ethan Page or
Who would
just
be perfect? Perfect
adding somebody else in there to eat pins on weekly TV.
because
And
Braun Breaker, he should be like the arrogant guy in the group who like doesn't need his team leader around to still be that dude. Like, you want to come talk to
yeah,
me? I don't even need Seth to tell me to run you to pocket. I'll
yeah,
run you right now. Like, so like, what are we doing? I'm
yeah,
a hothead. Like, he's the hothead of. He'd be the perfect hothead of the group. That's what I feel like for
yeah,
him. Like, yeah, I'm level
yep,
headed, but push me. Like, get me to that point where I just don't care, and I'm gonna break you in half. so,
yeah, yep.
so I where this goes, I'm ready. Triple H, you never let me down yet. Like you haven't always made me happy, but you never let me down when the icing gets put on the cake. I'll tell you that much. And on to the Cena Cody.
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
How you feel?
Oh, me? Oh, okay. Um, so let's see. I think there's a number of ways that I would like to kind of quickly run through kind of how I watch this and how I kind of analyze this. So first, there's the personal element for me that no matter what happened, no matter what the match looked like, I, as a tried and true John Cena kid, seeing John Cena compete for the WWE Championship in the main event of WrestleMania and seeing him win again, that for me is enough personally. That all of the other problems around this doesn't fade away, but it's not nearly as important to me as as a fan. So kind of getting all of that out of the way, because if I talk too long there, then it's going to be another show of just me romanticizing John Cena winning 17. Um, um, as far as the actual match, there's the character work that I think like goes into like this version of Cena, and there's the actual like story execution of the match. I think character work wise, um, this being I think this purposefully was a bit of an underwhelming like in in ring wrestling match, because partially that's the story of what John Cena's character is saying of, oh, like you're like you as the fans, you're getting nothing. So every time that like Cody started to like feel like he was getting in a rhythm, Cena's leaving the like ring to completely like shut that off. And so and then obviously John Cena like cheats throughout the the match, and John Cena follows up on all of his promises from his promos over the last couple of weeks, saying, Cody, you are going to lose because you care about what these people think over winning. Check. Cody Rhodes, I don't have to wrestle to beat you. Check. So all of that stuff works. Um, from Cena's perspective, from Cody's perspective, this match does make him look quite weak, which people very upset about, and I understand, and it's okay. And ultimately, I think Cody is in such high regard that as as long as they don't fumble the next couple steps with him, he's gonna be totally fine. Um, but the last thing that I will kind of say for my opening kind of in this match is, even with with my John Cena shirt on, and my John Cena glasses on, watching this match, it did, like, even I couldn't completely overlook, like, wow, physically and in ring wise, this is not my like this is not John Cena anymore, which he, to his credit, I think has been publicly talking about, like well before he even stepped back into the ring at the beginning of the year, of him saying, I can still get through a match, but I'm not Superman anymore. And so one of my notes for moving forward here is, like I'm gonna hold this moment, not the match, but the moment, in high regard. But now that Cena has the belt, I am starting to question a little bit. Okay, if that's the in-ring product of what Cena can do, then maybe he doesn't need to hold the belt quite as long as I was initially thinking. But it also could be better moving forward. So that I'll kind of pause there.
Yeah, I kind of would like to talk about that too, because I do feel like some of that is character work, where he's just moving slower, more more menacing and stuff like that. More, you don't get anything. I'm not here to be flashy, but part of it is that his older body just can't move as fast. Um,
Yeah.
and I think we're gonna see a lot of them playing it safe with him for most of this,
Yeah.
where he's not really taking big bumps or anything like that, and the bigger bumps will be more things like table spots, probably, because that's the
Yeah.
safest way to treat his body at the end of the day. You don't want to risk, like, if you really think about it, the whole lead up to WrestleMania, they played it super safe. They were not going to risk either one of them guys
Yes.
getting hurt before WrestleMania, like they had to deal with
Yep.
last year with injuries. So
Yeah.
I can respect all the stuff that they're doing right now, but I also think at some point we do see a more closer to Cena than further from Cena, where it won't be perfect, it won't be the greatest thing, but it'll be more what you're familiar with. And I think that's going to be something that we probably see when he goes back face right before at the end. He'll probably have some one last hoorah where he's like, I'm going to give it my all because it's my last match or something like that. And you'll be able to say, like, he still had it in the tank. He just didn't want to exasperate it too soon. So that's that. Um, but yeah, you're right. It wasn't a great match or anything like that. I think I had voiced it that I didn't really expect one. I was wary about how bad it could be. It was solid for some guy who doesn't wrestle that much and a guy who does wrestle.
Yeah.
Um, the whole thing about pleasing the fans, I think we're gonna get to a point where it's not even that Cody was trying to please the fans and thinking about what they were thinking about, what their concerns were. I think he more like when he had that opportunity to clock Cena. I think that's more of a he got struck by fandom. This is one of those having to like take down your heroes type of moments for him. And he looked down and he's seen his hero battered, beaten, obviously by his hands, but he just couldn't take himself as a fan to do that to Cena. And I think that's what is ultimately costed him there. And that's one of those things that's like you're not that guy, like Cena's been saying, because you're not willing to do what's good for business. And that's one of those pure moments right there. He couldn't do it. He said he was going to protect the belt, make sure it didn't go nowhere, and he failed because he was too busy looking down and being like, "Damn, I'm about to kill off my hero. Like I can't do this." And he hesitated, and now he's not the champion no more. Um, Travis Scott coming out, like,
Wah.
yeah, it's a womp womp. It's not like horrible, but it's a womp womp. Like without no other shenanigans, no actual wrestlers coming out, like seeing his little arms dangling in the air when Cody
Yeah.
went to put him in the crossroads and shit. Like it just didn't seem real. Like this is what these are the moments where like people who are like wrestling is not real, it's so fake. This is where they win. These are the moments where they win. And
Yeah.
I don't like those moments because like if you're gonna get a celebrity, like have somebody who's down to do shit like Bad Bunny, who like actually gets in the ring, gets shit shaking and shit like that. But like Travis Scott just seems like a gimmick, bro. Like, and it's not fun when no other wrestlers around. So keep that to themselves. What else is there? What else is there? Cody Rhodes gets booed like this whole match. And Cena does a good job talking about it Monday. He's like, look at this. Literally what I said about myself, the moment you got a chance to, you did it to Cody Rhodes. like, like this guy John Cena is
Everything
really knocking it out the park because like you did earlier, everything he talks about,
everything he's
check,
saying, all of the and
check.
all of the reaction, not only to Cody but to the match. I saw people like saying like, oh, this is the worst main event of all time, and literally unironically saying this main event ruined WrestleMania and ruined wrestling. I'm like, do you not see what you're typing?
So I won't so yeah, I don't know if they plan to have a match that's this stale, but the reaction is
No,
perfectly
no.
lining up into what they. It perfectly just lines up.
Yeah.
It's like coincidentally great for them. Almost like Charlotte
Yes.
Flair and Tiffany Stratton when they had the personal bickering. Like it was accidentally great for business. But
Yes.
but you're right. Like
Yes.
the match was stale. People had every right to say it, but John Cena is correct in what he's saying because we keep proving him right. It is so kind of
You're
crazy.
literally using his catchphrases without even
Yeah, but see that like
unironically.
that's why John Cena's good because like
That's why no,
not
no,
even to compare him to a
that's why
musician. Like
that's why he's the never seen 17 GOAT.
so like in the music industry, when Drake was really popping, like when he was really at his heights, I would always sit there and feel like Drake is really good because he takes some really simple like phrases and does a good job of like making them seem complex to whatever he's talking about at the moment. And
Yeah.
that's John Cena. John Cena is just so good with his words that he makes everyday phrases that you would never think about stick.
Mhm.
Like he could be like, cut the cheese, and like now you're saying cut the cheese everywhere because John Cena fucking said the shit. And it's
Yeah.
just another thing that proves what he's been saying the whole time. Like he said, you don't wear the shirt because it's not anything else other than I make it look cool. And he's totally right. Heel Cena has been one. Heel Cena and Drew McIntyre, the two most rightest heels you'll ever see in one era
Yes.
at the same time. And Karrion Cross. And Karrion Cross at this point.
Absolutely. Shout out to Karrion Cross.
And shout out to them. They are all on the money of lately, and I can't be mad at any of these guys. But what else is there about this match?
I um
I don't think it
I
made
also
Cody
there's
weak. I got to bring that up because you said that. I don't think this match made Cody look weak. This guy is John fucking Cena. Like, what was Cody supposed to do? Beat him up? Like, I get it. Like, at the end of the day, it's a
yes,
story.
yes.
No, but I get it. It's a story. But at the end of the day, the aura of John Cena is that that's a guy that gets up. Like, you hit him with five finishers, he kicks out of five finishers. Like, it don't matter that he's 49,000 years old. He kicks out of seven finishers when he's really on that timing. And this was just John Cena on that timing. He was willing to do whatever. So, like, to say Cody looks weak, I feel like it's such a disrespectful thing to Cody Rhodes because he's up against arguably the GOAT. Like, this is not like there's some other big name like, oh, Kevin Nash or some other huge legend. Like, this is one of the legends of wrestling. They're not going to let him go out looking lame either.
Ye- yes, I don't mean he looks weak like Cody. How do I describe this? Not that him as a wrestler looks weak, but like in that he like Cena like talked directly to him the entire time, like saying like, oh, I don't have to wrestle, I'm not even who I was anymore, and here I'm telling you that I am going to cheat to beat you, and here's how I'm going to do it. And then Cody just like walks
Oh, so
into
you're saying
all
he
of
looks
this.
weak because he literally just walks into the trap thinking he was too good to
He looks
walk.
dumb.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because he's thinking he's too good to have fallen for it, but he's
Yes.
fallen for it.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
somewhat agree, somewhat don't. Just because, like we talked about in the last video, like this is necessary. Like it's not even like they're just making
Oh,
him look bad.
100%.
This is a necessary step. The He needs the reminder that you're not on his level yet. This is your first title, bro. Like you're not on his level yet.
Yeah.
So he just got reminded, like, yeah, you're Cody Rhodes, you're the guy right now, but like the guys before you all have so much more on their resume than you. Like you're just
Yeah.
starting yours, bro. Like chill out, pipe down. I don't even care if I'm a bad guy. I could be a bad guy today. I still better than you on your best day. Like, and that's what it was accomplished here. That's why I don't have gripes, even though it's a weak match and it's like number 5 on my WrestleMania list. It still does what it needs to do. It's still, the story is phenomenal. The story part of this match is phenomenal. What it does moving forward is phenomenal, especially when you're getting things like Monday when he comes out there and gives his speech, says he's the last real champion left. And somebody from his era just comes creeping up from behind him and says, wait till he turns
Yeah.
around. Wait till he turns around. You forgot about me, my boy? You forgot about me?
Yeah.
Catches an RKO. And I'm surprised they're getting into this fast.
Well, Backlash is right there in Randy's hometown.
True, true.
That's why.
Like,
Yeah.
but like we've talked about it plenty of times, and we all, I think, kind of agree. We both kind of agree that this was like a down the road type of thing for him. Not necessarily right away, but we also were in the
We
discussions of
assume
what he
so, but
does.
hey.
Yeah, what he does. What does he do after this? Who would have been? Who else is there for him to beef with? Right now.
Mhm.
So at the end of the day, man, we about to get Randy Orton, and you might be right that this title reign might not last that long. Maybe they turn Randy Orton into the hero, and now Cody Rhodes has to now somehow win them back from another hero figure.
Oh yeah, I don't think it's gonna be that fast. I think Cena's gonna hold it
Yeah,
through the summer. So
me as it is right now, I have Cena winning at Backlash, but I wouldn't be surprised if Randy wins at Backlash. Don't kill the messenger. I wouldn't be surprised. Um, Maybe Cena is like one of those heels who just is on and off again. Maybe we get like 2 or 3 of these title reigns in the midst of this, but like I hope not. But
I think he holds it for a couple months, hits the like last like couple dream or like dream either like dream matches or dream like I want to see that one last time. So him with Randy, him with Punk, him with a couple other people. Um and now it's elevated even more because it's for the WWE Championship.
I think we get him at SummerSlam. We just don't have Cena with a title at SummerSlam.
My guess right now is that Cena has the belt at that point still, but he might lose it there.
I can see that. I can see that too. But I don't know. I just feel like him having the belt by that point. Maybe it will work, but I feel like we'll be at the point where it's like, okay, cool, take it off him now.
Maybe,
Matches are way too
maybe,
slow and shit like that, like not exciting enough. Like
yeah.
get it off Cena now.
I I personally probably won't feel that way, but I would understand if most people feel that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because
Um,
I'm trying to think what is his path to SummerSlam. We got Randy. Maybe we get Drew. I think Drew would
Maybe
work, but he's
Drew.
but they're heels. They're both heels. Um, who else are
I
the
think
faces over there? Like,
I
there's
I
no way he
think
sees Roman because if you tell me John Cena beats Roman, you gotta include The Rock and some shit. Like,
no, I don't see Roman, but I definitely see Punk.
I see some clean victories in his path too. At least one or two clean ones where he just
Yeah,
like, I'm the heel, but I ain't need no dirt to beat you, my boy. Like I don't need Travis
yeah,
Scott to come out and distract you for me to win. Like I just hit you with a F you and call it a day.
yeah.
They don't even refer to his move,
I
I don't feel like, by name. And I feel like because the attitude adjustment just doesn't feel right for heel Cena.
yeah.
Like it doesn't feel right. Like if it's not
Maybe
the
him being
FU,
Cena
it's
means that he
nothing.
can bring back the FU.
Yeah, like it's either gotta be FU or nothing for heel Cena, bro. Like just don't call it nothing. Just be like his move.
Um,
He hit his move.
I I also just as I've been seeing the discourse around this match and people being either from disappointed to furious about the ending, I have kind of had a personal reflection on this of like, man, as a Cena fan, if you think this is the first time that I've dealt with people being upset about a Cena match, then you don't know what it was like being a Cena fan for as long as I was. I this chaos that is happening around the Cena match. This is what my wrestling fandom was born in.
Yeah,
Was
yeah.
people being upset about John Cena matches. So I am completely comfortable.
So something out of left field. We'll roll into that because we kind of touched base on what that match meant and what it did because it was very emotional. I feel like I kind of thought it would be more of an emotional thing than it is an actual match because it wasn't really an actual match. It was kind of lackluster there.
Yeah,
But it was a nice moment for John. But what I'm thinking is, where's The Rock? What's going on with him? You brought up the
we have
last
to close with
video.
that.
You brought up the
Yeah.
last video. Seth Rollins doing what's best for business. I would love for there to be some kind of possibility, and even if it's not a actual thing, if it's two separate factions, they need to cross paths at some point and just be like nod heads. Maybe we talk some business sometime and just kind of go on their day. Or imagine if The Rock is in charge of all of this.
So not to completely burst the bubble here, but did you see Rock's comments today on Pat McAfee?
He was up there.
So
He was on the Pat
this
McAfee
is
show. I
interesting.
saw Cena on the Pat McAfee show,
So
and then I changed the
Cena,
channel.
Cena, Cena and Heyman were on the Pat McAfee show Monday, and that was scheduled. And then late last night, they announced, "Oh, The Rock's going to be on Pat McAfee tomorrow." Clearly, as a damage control thing, because people are furious, rightfully, about him not showing up at WrestleMania and also him not being a part of anything after Elimination
Did the
Chamber.
final
So
boss
he
show up, or did actual Dwayne the Rock
no,
show up?
no, it was not the final boss. It was Dwayne. Dwayne showed up.
Diarrhea Dwayne showed up.
Dwayne showed up
Did he ask Pat
and
McAfee
gave
how his throat was feeling?
no, he was not in character
L
at all.
friend, L friend, bro.
He said he like tried to justify all of him not being at WrestleMania and not being a part of anything after Elimination Chamber.
And he know he
He
dirt.
he more truthful more I think more truthful than you necessarily would like or expect was him saying, "Oh, I only showed up to Elimination Chamber because I got a call from my good buddy Ari Emanuel, and he said, 'Hey Rock, can you show up at Elimination Chamber because our ticket sales are low?'" And he said, "All right, cool. I can do that." And then this is him saying this. And then he talked to Cena and talked to Cody and set up that angle. And then after that, after the heel turn, he called Cena and Cody and said, "All right, my work is done." So he was never expecting to do anything after Elimination Chamber, which is crazy.
Man, he's lucky he's not a full time wrestler because
That's crazy.
yeah, That is a little disappointing. Maybe he's selling us. Maybe he's selling us. Like, I would just hope he's selling us, and there's something in the plan somewhere. There's no way he doesn't want to touch wrestling again.
Mm,
Like does he sound like a guy who literally does not want to touch wrestling anymore?
as like
Like, just from your own
I
perspective, like, does this sound like a guy who's just
yeah.
like through with wrestling? He's not interested in getting in the ring ever.
Him like actually wrestling. Yeah, yeah,
He sounds pretty
he
done
does.
with that.
Yeah, yeah.
Damn, we really fucked up and not getting enrolled in Rock last year.
That's his fault though. That's his fault.
Borderline his, but it's our fault for fighting it because we were
No,
gonna
it's
get it regardless.
no. It is not borderline. Number one, he first of all had 10 years of Roman being
I
pushed
get that. I get that.
as the guy to do that match, and then WrestleMania 39, he confirmed himself that it was literally agreed to and on the card for him to fight Roman at WrestleMania 39, and then he had something come up and he said no, scratch it. So then he said we're gonna push it to next year. But then he waited until he waited to try to push his way into it until after Cody Rhodes won the Royal Rumble.
That would have never,
If
yeah, yeah, but either way, it would have never worked because the expectation was already Roman Cody Part 2 from WrestleMania 39. Like, I don't know if you were really watching then, but that was everybody's mindset. It was like, yo, we got to run this back next year. Like, this has to
yes,
be it. So, like, even if he decided at Backlash he was going to steal the show, we still would have bitched about that shit. Well, like, it still would have been an issue.
but it wouldn't
Everybody
have been
wanted Cody to finish the story. He just picked the worst time to try to interrupt it.
but it wouldn't have been it like there's a difference between like people wanting it to go in that direction and then waiting until after the Cody Rhodes character has literally 100% solidified his opportunity to fight Roman again by winning the Rumble. If he would have confirmed when he came back on that first Raw at the top of the year instead of just teasing like, oh, should The Rock sit at the bar or at the head of the table? If
No,
if
that was
he
a
just
funny
would have
promo. And he ain't fulfill it for us.
if he just would have said right there, yo, I'm back, Roman, I'm on your ass, then then people might have still wanted Cody, but Cody wasn't guaranteed that opportunity until he won the Rumble. So the fact that The Rock tried to bully Cody out of it after the Rumble is why it got the reaction that it did, like vitriol that it did.
You know?
So it's his fault that we didn't get Rock Roman.
I totally was in the camp of I'm bummed that it was about to not be Cody and Roman, but I was willing to let it go. I'm not even gonna lie. I was willing to let it go. I
Yeah,
was really bummed about it. I'm like, it's really stupid that we're letting it go. But I'm like, the story you're giving me right now, I'm interested in to see how The Rock bullying Cody Rhodes affects all of wrestling, honestly. Because it wouldn't have just affected them guys. It would have affected a lot. So I was totally down to see where that goes and to see how they handled it. But that's why I say we fucked it up because we should have just took it. Honestly, we really should have just took it.
oh, I'm
I'm
sorry.
so happy with the WrestleMania we got. But if we cared about Rock
I
Roman as fans, we probably should have just took that and just ran with it.
I
As a Cody guy,
complete
I totally wanted him to finish the story. So I get the finish
yeah,
the story camp, but I also
yeah.
get the we should have took this match when we had it right there match. Like you said 39, they had it all planned out, but they never told us. So we didn't even know to be mad about it. Like this one we knew about and we as a group said keep that shit. So that's why I blame us is because when we had it and it was in our knowledge of we have it, we said keep that shit. We don't want it. So
Which to me was 100% the right choice.
yes,
Like
really,
I
it is the right choice. I will 100% agree that it's the right choice. But if you ever look back and you're like, you want that Rock Roman match, you wish we got it, you also have to remember that it was in our laps outside of WrestleMania 39, and we said no.
I'm I also am 100% comfortable with that, especially at Rock's age. For as interesting as it would be, I'm totally fine if that's one of the matches that we end up
Yeah,
never
no,
getting.
like I think that's just the thing with most of us is like it was a great what if a fantasy match. It was nice to
Yeah.
have the tease of it happening. It did one, and I will also say this: The Rock doing what he did wonders for the buildup of Roman and Cody too. Anyways, like it did wonders.
Oh,
The
100%.
whole
100%.
the whole WrestleMania with the family tree, and then the
Hmm.
slab and all this stuff, and Seth Rollins riding out for Cody Rhodes so hard, even with the bum knee. Like
Yeah.
it was great to see how that got us to WrestleMania. But
Yes.
like you're right. At the end of the day, Cody was the right choice. It was proper to end the story. It was only fair. But you win some, you lose
I
some. You win some, you lose some
I
at WrestleMania.
also, just as a last piece of this rock portion, and I assume the show
Yeah.
for today, is Rock's overall involvement. For as much as I've liked him for a long time, this is now the second straight WrestleMania that you've really negatively impacted. Last year they like completely fixed it and turned it into something special. But this, like, I'm starting to get really annoyed, Rock, that you keep messing this up because you want to be a part of it, but then you don't want to, like, you want to be a part of not only being on the show, but being a part of the absolute main event, most important stories on the entire program, and then you don't want to follow up on what it takes for your character to actually have a fulfilling piece of that. And I wanted to bring that up as well, to mention once again that this entire Cody Rhodes run with the championship had this dark, not, I don't want to call it a dark cloud, but had this cloud over it the entire time, because the Raw after WrestleMania last year, what did The Rock do? The Rock came out and he said, "Congratulations, Cody," and then he had that weird back and forth of, "Hey, let me hold that belt." And
He even told him he'd eventually be coming for that belt.
before he left, he said, "Cody Rhodes, I'm establishing right now that I'm coming back for you." So the entire time that Cody had the belt,
He did come back for Cody Rhodes.
and do what?
He wanted his soul. That
But the
technically counts as coming back for Cody Rhodes, and Cody Rhodes still had the belt, so technically that is fulfilled.
but but listen, so the
But he sold us on
be
actually fighting for the belt. Like he sold us on that.
n- not even that, but because he
Wait,
did that,
maybe that's why he did that weird shit.
no, we as fans know, um, because of that promo after the Raw after Mania on 40, and Rock set an expectation, "I'm coming back for you and for the belt," that that means every feud up until Cody sees The Rock again, we know Cody's winning. That's because of what The Rock did. If The Rock just would have said, "Yo, congratulations, um I'm not happy about this," like, and like left it more vague, then it wouldn't have had this 100% like inevitability of Cody as champion until he interacts with Rock again.
Yeah, but that's why I'm kind of like
And
going crazy with the oh, maybe that's why he did this weird ass "I want your soul" thing. He just wrote himself out of it. He was like, I fulfilled what I said. I came back for Cody. I just came for his soul, and we failed, and I'm out. Ghost.
but
So it's L, right? It's
he
L,
didn't.
but I feel like that's what he's trying to do. There is he's trying to write himself out of that shit he put him in. Put him in the Monday after WrestleMania 40. think that's what he's trying to do
Well,
there.
if that was the point, then he unfortunately still failed because he, by doing that, made himself what felt like the most like this like integral part of why John Cena turned, and people were asking rightfully week after week, what is Cena's involvement with Rock? Why are like are they a new faction? Does Cena work for
You're
Rock?
right.
Why would Cena like what would The Rock
Once he
offer
does
Cena
this,
that Cena doesn't already have? So it I I would have been totally fine if he only came back for Elimination Chamber to like
what did
hot
he do?
tickets. Like I'm totally fine with that and do something with Cody, but the fact that he was positioned to be an essential piece of the Cena story, which like at least from the spin that he gave today is that his intention was not to be a part of the the Cena aspect of it. It 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 was not clear it was not clear that in that moment that Cena and Rock were not interconnected because Cena reacted literally because of Rock's action, and then Rock and Cena are standing together. They look like a new faction, so you're part of it.
Yeah, like why Travis Scott here, man? Like, did The Rock send
And
him?
why is this guy?
Did The Rock send him? Because if you sent him, come on, man, you're involved. Stop it, man. We might be just getting gaslit, man. The Rock might be faking us out, and he'll be back at some point. I don't know. We'll
I
see. We'll see. But I'm not.
I
I'm not
I
holding my
would have
breath.
taken that a while ago.
I'm not holding my
I
breath.
I I would have taken that a while ago, but the like him coming back with no purpose and no plan at Bad Blood, then him like snitching on himself that that he came back at Elimination Chamber as a favor and never had any intention of coming back for the road to WrestleMania or WrestleMania himself. I now am I now am nervous about Rock's future involvement because he keeps inserting himself or he keeps being in inserted in ways that's messing up the stories.
Boy, well, Dwayne, get your shit together. But for now, we're gonna get our shit together and get up out of here. This was a good review. WrestleMania 41 is in the books. Not everybody's favorite WrestleMania, but it did some things. It did some things. We'll see where the rest of these stories go. Don't be John Cena. Keep an eye out. Don't get RKO'd. And this is NEO Wrestling. That's E Money.
Shout out the last real champion, John Cena.
And that's why he got RKO'd. But, and this is NeekCinco. We'll catch you on the next one. Y'all be safe. Like, comment, all that other stuff.